Penguin Random House Audio presents The Mothers by Brit Bennett. Read for you by Adenrele Ojo. Chapter 1. We didn't believe when we first heard, because you know how church folk can gossip. Like the time we all thought First John, our head usher, was messing around on his wife because Betty, the pastor's secretary, caught him cozying up at brunch with another woman. A young, fashionable woman at that, one who switched her hips when she walked, even though she had no business switching anything in front of a man married 40 years. You could forgive a man for stepping out on his wife once, but to romance that young woman over buttered croissants at a sidewalk cafe? Now that was a whole other thing. But before we could correct First John, he showed up at Upper Room Chapel that Sunday with his wife and the young hip-switching woman, a great niece visiting from Fort Worth. And that was that. When we first heard, we thought it might be that type of secret, although we have to admit, it had felt different. Tasted different, too. All good secrets have a taste before you tell them, and if we'd taken a moment to swish this one around our mouths, we might have noticed the sourness of an unripe secret, plucked too soon, stolen and passed around before its season. But we didn't. We shared this sour secret, a secret that began the spring Nadia Turner got knocked up by the pastor's son and went to the abortion clinic downtown to take care of it. She was 17 then. She lived with her father, a Marine, and without her mother, who had killed herself 6 months earlier. Since then, the girl had earned a wild reputation. She was young and scared, and trying to hide her scared in her prettiness. And she was pretty, beautiful even, with amber skin, silky long hair, and eyes swirled brown and gray and gold. Like most girls, she'd already learned that pretty exposes you and pretty hides you, and like most girls, she hadn't yet learned how to navigate the difference. So we heard all about her sojourns across the border to dance clubs in Tijuana, the water bottles she carried around Oceanside High filled with vodka, the Saturdays she spent on base playing pool with Marines, nights that ended with her heels pressed against some man's foggy window. Just tales, maybe, except for one we now know is true. She spent her senior year of high school rolling around in bed with Luke Sheppard, and come springtime, his baby was growing inside her. Luke Sheppard waited tables at Fat Charlie's Seafood Shack, a restaurant off the pier known for its fresh food, live music, and family-friendly atmosphere. At least, that's what the ad in the San Diego Union Tribune said, if you were fool enough to believe it. If you'd been around Oceanside long enough, you'd know that the promised fresh food was day-old fish and chips stewing under heat lamps, and the live music, when delivered, usually consisted of ragtag teenagers in ripped jeans with safety pins poking through their lips. Nadia Turner also knew things about Fat Charlie's that didn't fit on a newspaper ad, like the fact that a platter of Charlie's cheesy nachos was the perfect drunk snack, or that the head cook sold the best weed north of the border. She knew that inside, yellow life preservers hung above the bar, so after long shifts, the 3 black waiters called it a slave ship. She knew secret things about Fat Charlie's because Luke had told her. "What about the fish sticks?" she would ask. "Soggy as shit." "The seafood pasta?" "Don't fuck with that."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?